Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages around the world, welcome to another episode of East Meets West, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, this is the Golden State Valkyries edition. What is this, game four, right?
Game four.
Game
Game
four
four.
recap versus the New York
The New York.
Liberty. It is May 27th, just in case, you guys need a date. I need to start plugging that in there. But it's your boy, Opinionated MJ, the great one, Conrado Pascual. You see the names at the bottom. You see where to follow us on Twitter. Mine's is kind of out. It's underscore MJ. Yep, at CP3 underscore 777. Drop your comments in here, like, subscribe, and let's get into it. So, I mean, the Valkyries was due a game like this, especially against a super powered juggernaut team. And they got to play them again. When? Friday?
Thursday.
Thursday.
They get one day off. They like, yeah, man. It's all good, dude. I mean, you've been to New York. I've been to New York, right? It's
Yeah,
a great city. You've
yeah,
taken the sights and everything.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sure they'll, be able to get over this loss pretty quickly,
I
right?
think it might end up being a playoff type of thing, like how the NBA has it, where it's back to back, and they make
Yeah.
their adjustments. They were making their adjustments on the fly. Like I don't want to jump too far into it and just let us get there, but the adjustments between the halves was everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Actually,
believe they'll be good in their next game.
yeah, I think that's a great point. I was actually going to say that a little bit later, but I mean, like, realistically, right? Why are they playing the Liberty twice in the span of like 3 days?
Right.
Because, right, teams want to try to minimize the amount of
The
traveling.
travel
That's it,
and
right?
save some money. Yeah,
But
that's
as you're saying, I mean, again, I think I'm a very as we'll see in this episode. I think I'm a very optimistic, like my glass half full kind of
right.
fan and analyst. But what I'm trying to say is, despite my optimism, I've been on the record. I don't think the Valkyries are going to make the playoffs. I hope
Yeah,
I'm wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong.
right.
But what I'm saying is, even if they're not going to make the playoffs, I'm with you. I think they can use these types of like back to backs or against the same opponent, as you said, kind of like a simulated playoff situation.
Right.
Because again, a lot of these young players, obviously Carla Late, Janelle Salon, they've never had that. So this is kind of like the closest thing. I mean, obviously it's not the playoffs, but still, in
Right.
terms of a learning purposes, which is what this season's all about, right?
Right.
Development, learning, again, getting
Hmm.
yourself acclimated to the nuances of the WNBA.
Right.
I'm with you. I think this can serve as a good learning purpose or a learning tool.
Right. I agree. Okay. I mean, just through a few numbers out there. I'll just throw a
Yeah.
few. No, we ain't got to do it all, but uh, so yeah, they lost today, 67-95. But yet and still, Kayla Thornton had 13 and 6 boards. Veronica had 13, 4 and 6. Timmy Fagbenle, who played pretty well actually, I think.
Hmm.
11, 3 and 4, and uh Kay Martin, who was on the heater for a second, she put up 10 and 3 boards. And then I'll close that out with Janelle Salon. Like she had 9, 6, and 2. And really what I see from this and what we've seen in the game is just I feel like they were like shocked by the
Yeah.
type of defense that New York was playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like New
Yeah.
York really had them out of sorts. This was the turnovers game. You know what I mean? That and when Maureen Johans is making everything she damn puts up. She go to the 3-point line and turn backwards and do one of them numbers and made it, you know what I mean?
Dude.
So when you got
Well,
to
well,
deal
we'll
with
get to
her on the
Marina.
heater,
Yeah.
yeah. So I feel like they just have to settle, and I think that this is perfect for them. Like to have played New York now, have to play them again right on the back. You know what I mean? Like it's clearly going to be a learning experience for them, rather even if it resulted in another loss. But I just think like it's kind of like watching rookie Aaliyah Boston when she went up against Aja Wilson. You know what I mean? Like kind of like that, and
Yeah.
just knowing that you're gonna bring your best punch when you're going against the champion. So yeah, I think they'll be ready to punch next game. But this game they were just out of sorts. That was just my observation. What about yours?
Yeah, I mean, they got punched in the mouth, right? In the
Yeah,
first quarter.
early. Yeah.
They got blasted real fast. And as you
Mhm.
said, right? Um, it basically took them the entire first quarter to kind of be able to respond
Right.
and do their best to match the intensity of the New York Liberty. But by
Mhm.
then, the damage had already been done.
Right.
I mean, you're damn near close to like what, almost 20 points down after one quarter.
After one
I
quarter,
mean,
yeah.
you do what you can. Um, what I will say is like this is where it's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
Like, could the Liberty again? The Liberty can defend you in a multiple ways,
Right.
right? And that's when I
Yeah.
say you, I mean that goes to all the other 12 teams, not just the Valkyries,
Right.
right? They probably could have just defended us straight up if they
Mhm.
really wanted to. They don't need to
Mhm.
switch,
Mhm.
right? They don't need to cross match. They don't right. They don't need to hedge or recover. They probably each player can guard their position straight up.
Right.
But this is where I think they kind of were a little cruel, right? They quickly went into a zone knowing that right now, at least right now, especially with Tip Hayes
Yeah.
not playing, we don't really have anyone who can consistently, you know, get any like real dribble penetration or
Mhm.
create their own shot off the dribble.
Right.
And they just sat in that zone.
Mhm.
And that's when you saw, as you said, a lot of fans will say, oh my God, like, we're settling for threes. We did. We did
Yeah.
in the
I
first
mean,
quarter and bad threes. But I
yeah.
mean, like, look at it. Every time they tried to get by, it wasn't happening.
Right.
Right. Which is
Yep.
why I'm saying it's like kind of the irony. Like Natasha Cloud, she didn't have like her biggest scoring night tonight
Right.
compared to the previous games
This
this
season,
season. She only had like 5 points tonight. But I mean, look at the amount of times,
the
whether it
defense though.
was, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, right?
Mhm.
That's why it's like, why do you even need to be in a zone? Like, whether it's Veronica Burton, who, again, for the most part, Veronica Burton did play fairly well,
Yeah.
right? But whether it was Veronica Burton or Julie Von Lowe or Carla Late,
Yeah.
no, man. Like, she was
Yeah.
getting into your handle. She was terminating their dribble or just
Mhm.
flat out turning them over,
Right.
right? Um, so that's why, yeah, I'm with you. It took them a while to adjust. But then when they did, you can definitively see them
Mhm.
making some good adjustments.
Right.
I kind of like just threw out a couple of thoughts, throughout the game. I tweeted out a couple thoughts. Like, again, that first quarter, they're in that 2-3 zone,
Mhm.
and yet nobody is flashing the paint for the
Right.
Valkyries. You are making
Mhm.
it too easy for them. They can
Yeah.
just sit, you
Yeah.
know, they can just sit on the perimeter and then like, just kind of lurk, you know. But then right out of the gate in the second quarter, what they do? They simultaneously sent Janelle Salon flashing, like, or yeah, kind of flashing through a crosscut, while
Mhm.
simultaneously Julie Von Lowe is flaring towards the left wing.
Mhm.
So what
Oh,
happens now? Cool, right?
yeah.
You get back-to-back buckets, wide open shots above the break.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
am I being optimistic? I don't know. All I'm saying is like, hey, that shows that you actually recognized what was going wrong, and you
Yeah.
found a way to respond.
Right. And you didn't let the play get killed because they had a lot of killed plays. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were trying to make some of them passes, and it was either too low or throwing it into their legs or throwing it
yeah,
baseline and it gets stolen like the Brianna one where she just was what I mean, like just caught it like on the back of her head. It's just like I just think it was the synergy in trying to build that synergy in game with this championship defending defensive team. You know what I mean? That has
yeah,
just offensive firepower. So trying to do all of that against a team that already knows what they want to do, and they have so much talent on this team. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
um, like I don't know. We'll see a better game. I know we will because they'll get into their sets better, I believe, and kind of understanding what type of personnel that New York has over there and what they have done against them, especially playing in the zone, like coming out
yeah,
and playing them straight up and then switching up too. Like it was a good test. I think it was some good education for them. You know what I mean? As a unit, you know what I mean? Like, of course, the vets got it down, but
yeah,
the whole team has to be on the same page. So this is a game I think will actually help them. Like it'll help let them make a leap. You know what I mean? If not after the next one, and definitely after the five. We did say the next five, and it's just like all contenders basically. So yeah, because it's two New York,
yeah.
the Aces, Phoenix, and was it Minnesota? You said
Minnesota.
yeah.
Yeah, Yeah.
God.
And by the way, yeah, as we're recording this, Minnesota has welcomed back Kayla McBride to the starting lineup.
Yeah, they
She
did.
has not. I mean, I don't really think she was really injured, right? I think it was more like kind of rest, load management because she played for Fenerbahce after
Oh
she
yeah.
finished Unrivaled,
Okay.
right? So I think that
Yeah.
was just kind of like let's give her a
Damn.
breather because she's
That's nonstop
doing
ball.
what she's doing, right? She doesn't look
Yeah.
like she's not hampered one bit. But anyway, again, this is a Valkyries episode. Sorry,
Yeah.
but no, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Like I said, what I'm most intrigued by is again, I was happy that they made those adjustments. Um, they started then to use those same plays, but then to flip the defense, right?
Yeah.
Where now instead of pulling the defense down towards the baseline, they're doing the opposite. They're pulling the defense up towards the perimeter. And then now you started seeing like Temi being
Let
able
me
to
get up.
come in
Yeah.
for some layups.
Mm-hmm.
Even like VB,
Kayla.
Stephanie Talbot, like all things considered, because I mean, I haven't been anti Talbot. It's just, again, I told you this at the time of the expansion draft, after we had drafted like Monique Billings and Kayla Thorne, I kind of felt like Stephanie Talbot would be a little bit redundant, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But overall, like again, she did not have a big scoring output today.
Billings is
Oh,
hurt.
she only had yes. Yeah, I
Okay.
think
Because I
like
wondered why I didn't see her
2
out there.
games ago, yeah, I think she had like some kind of like a foot injury, but
Okay.
she was a game time decision. She and Tip Hayes were game time decisions today. They went through shoot around. So not guaranteeing it. I wouldn't be surprised though if the two of them return to
Thursday.
the active lineup. Yeah, next on Thursday.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
all I'm saying is, yeah, like whether it's like those side pick and rolls or even like because now it's again we're seeing it like the big to big pick and roll action, like high pick and roll is
Mhm.
becoming a staple, or
Yeah.
the big guard split action is becoming a staple because why, right? I mean,
Yeah.
sure, you trust. I mean, for the sake of this discussion, right? Because sometimes Janelle will play the 4,
Right.
right? Like she could shoot.
Right.
Steph Talbot, at least her body of work, like she could shoot. I know she hasn't shot like or made a lot of threes. She made some last game, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, these are veterans
They're
with big
capable.
body of work. No,
Right.
Kayla, Talbot,
Yeah.
they can shoot threes. They can make threes. So,
Right.
whatever. We'll trust the process there. But no, I mean, like we're seeing it again today. I'm gonna note it every time we see it. You see that Temi 3? There's no hesitation.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what I say, right? See,
Yeah.
split action with 2 bigs, and Temi's the one taking the shot.
Right.
Like, again, right? Like we lost by 28, right? So I'm
I
just saying,
mean,
like,
against the
they,
defending champions.
yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying they are definitely establishing, right, some chemistry. And I think like the familiarity, like their grasp of kind of like these go-to plays, they're becoming a little bit more regular,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, today 11 of 31 from 3, not great, but not horrible.
Right.
That's 35%, I mean, obviously a couple of those go in the first, well, some of them were kind of bad looks in the first quarter, but and some people have also asked too, like, will the 3-point shooting improve?
Yeah.
I mean, like, Cecilia Zandalicini is not a solution to all the problems, but you are inserting, it's not even hyperbole. Once she returns to the lineup, you are inserting one of the top 5 best shooters in the league. I don't know, top 10.
Yeah.
At least by percentage, she's
Right.
like she's top 5 right
Yeah.
throughout her career.
No, that's
So,
good. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Right? I mean, like these things can come together. And Julie Von Lowe too. Like she's kind of had a rough couple games here.
Yeah, she has.
She had 5 points today. The funny thing is, when I was watching the game, I kind of said to myself, like, again, you look at the way she's fighting over screens.
Yeah.
You look at the way, like the passes she's getting off. Whether again, right? Obviously, you need your teammate to finish, the layup or the shot in order to get an assist. But if you just look at the types of passes, these are not, reckless passes. She's making some good passes to get to her teammates open. I guess the reason why I'm saying all this is I just kind of thought to myself, she's doing everything well except scoring.
Right.
Which is the irony, right? Because she's most known for being a spark plug scorer. So I think again, right? You just right? You just kind of have to trust. Yeah, you have to trust that like she'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
mean, she's
it's just the team
yeah,
building synergy. That's all.
yeah.
I think.
No, but I
And
mean, that's like her own individual offense. She'll figure that out. You have to
yeah,
believe she'll figure that out. You know.
yeah. And I just took a little peek at the scoring breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say maybe they played well the last three quarters, but I mean, okay, we take out the first quarter and that 18, 17 point slap. They it was 19-21 in the second. It was, and then they won 22-19 in the third. But it's like in the fourth, it went away again. Like they lost the fourth quarter by 12. And I wanted to look at that and see like how bad was it? Because if that first quarter wasn't that bad, their runs when they did start making them could have been more effective. You know what I mean? Like instead of trying to climb back in and just cut it from 20 to 12 or 10, it would have been, you shave off another 10 points of them having, or of New York having 10 more points, then suddenly you're in the game a couple times on those runs. You know what I mean? So it would have put more pressure on New York. So I think we will see that in the next game. Like they will be ready for New York. They might, it might not result in a dub because they crazy, man. Like you could feed John Quill. Brianna Stewart is still Brianna Stewart. Sabrina is Sabrina. Like they got weapons over there. So I'm not mad at the Valkyries for this game. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
I mean,
I
like
wouldn't
I
be mad
said,
at them for any loss, really, to be honest.
the talent disparity
Yeah.
between the Liberty and the Valkyries, right,
Yeah.
is
Is
like a chasm.
right.
You know, so
Defending
and I
champ,
mean,
expansion team.
no, I said chasm, man. We're talking about like
Yeah,
defending
I know.
champ here, and then like down, right?
Yeah, down.
And that's not a knock. It's really not meant to be a knock on the Valkyries. That's just, in terms of both talent and experience, no, right? Like we're not in the same tier, not even remotely close. But that's okay, right? Again, right? That's how like this is we use this as a measuring stick.
Yeah.
Um but in terms of how to because you're right. Like they went on like these little mini runs, right? They
Mm-hmm.
opened up the third quarter on a 10-2 run.
Mm-hmm.
Then like, okay, Liberty kind of stabilized things. Then again, as you were saying, right? Late third, early fourth, they kind of started stringing along again, getting it down under 20, like getting back to 16. And
Mm-hmm.
then, it doesn't sound like that big of a difference, but it was because the turnover margin, right? We had
Yeah.
20, they had 13.
Yeah.
So they won the turnover battle by 7, but they pretty much capitalized on almost all of our turnovers.
Yeah.
Like all of
Yeah.
them. Right. Hence why you're giving a team that, again, as you said, is so talented offensively. And we gave them 12 more field goal attempts. Right.
Okay.
Than we taken. So
Yeah.
that's not a recipe for
For
success.
success, right?
And then again, as we talked about this on last episode, kind of like a little mini preview for tonight,
Mm.
the New York Liberties bench. Right. I'm just gonna hear it. This is where like I'm both an analyst but also like a fanboy.
Marine.
What did I say? Yes. What did I say? Okay, she had 18 points tonight off the bench.
Yeah.
All of them came by way of 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Again, watch the replay. Watch the crowd. Watch both teams' benches. Even the
Okay.
Valkyries bench. Every 3-pointer she knocks down. Like
Okay.
the crowd is going crazy. The Liberty bench is going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Even like the Valkyries players aren't supposed to be happy, but they're like,
Right. I mean, because she was making some crazy shots, man.
dude, that one-legged three, the running
Yeah.
three, like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Valkyries
It's
aren't gonna win this one.
right. That's what I said. Joe Hans, and I'm like, okay, this a wrap. Because she was just throwing them up, man. Like, I love her game, man. I wish you guys could have got her. That would have been, and let her have some increased usage. Probably start like, oh god.
Janelle Salon, Carla Lade, Ileana Rupert, Marine Johannes. No, that would be nice, right?
That'd be crazy.
Nice. That'd be
Yeah.
nice. If
Yeah.
only they had left her unprotected, right? But no,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Exactly. Exactly.
But no, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But again, I think really what is going to be a recurring theme this year, and I think that's even with Tip Hayes in the lineup, is again our lack of shot creators. Again, maybe, Janelle Salon has no problem being very aggressive and taking it. But is she there yet, at least at the comfort level where, she can be that go-to? Probably not. You know,
Yeah.
but again, she has no problem. You feed her the ball, she's you see it, right? There's no hesitation.
Yeah.
Um, Carla Late, again, this is what we talked about. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Tonight, 4 points.
Hmm.
I believe on 1 of 7 shooting. Her one field goal, her one made field goal was that really nice, right? She kind of just sized up Sabrina Ionescu,
Hmm.
right? And then just drove on her,
Yeah.
and then went right straight into the heart of the back line of the D. You know,
Hmm.
again, right? Like from the last game, like we said, against the Sparks, right? She's not going to be that hot. She's also
Hmm.
not going to like struggle as much as she did today, right? Like there's
Right.
going to be that balance, and that's what she needs to figure out is finding that right balance where she can be a little bit more consistent from game to
Right.
game. Because right now, they'll ultimately need her scoring.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like we don't have enough offensive firepower to keep, you know, having players kind of like go scoreless, for lack of a better way of phrasing
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Which is why, again, in terms of like winning or being competitive, we really do need Julie to kind of find her mojo.
Yeah. And turn
Um,
it up.
yeah. But overall, I mean, like, like I said, to me, they found ways to respond. It's now
Hmm.
a matter of can you sustain that? Because as you said,
Right.
right, it was always a series of mini runs, but that's what good and great teams do, what championship teams do, right? They'll find a
Hmm.
way to respond. They'll find a way to stifle your momentum. They
Right.
did that, whether
Yeah.
it was offensively or defensively. And again, what I really want to see, I guess we can. Do you have any more thoughts about this game?
Um. Not really. No. I'm looking forward to the
Okay.
next game. Actually, like
Yeah, is what I'm
I
saying,
just
right?
I just think they have to have a better shot selection too, though. Like the what is it that I seen? 3 for 12s, 3 for 10s. What else? What was it? Who went 5 for 5? Uh,
Timmy,
Timmy. Yeah. See, Timmy went 5 for 5, but everybody else shooting was atrocious.
see,
So they have to shoot better, and that's really it. Like they have to make their shots. The shots have to fall, and this basketball is make or miss. So yeah.
I mean, like they had. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, to be fair, like just looking at the box score doesn't quite tell. I mean, I'll say that all the
No, it
time, right? It
doesn't
doesn't
tell
tell.
it at all.
No, because like Carla, she had at least okay, so 1 of 7, right? I mean, obviously you went 1 of 7, so you missed six shots, but
Hmm.
there were at least. Let me confirm this. Yeah, she had like 2 really nice driving layups along the baseline,
Hmm.
and it just rimmed out. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
what I'm like, there were moments where they were generating good looks. Now it's on them to actually convert. Same
Hmm.
thing with Linskins. I think she had Linskins had a good one too. She did. No, no, no. I'm sorry. She took a 3-pointer. Who else was it? I think it was Kate Martin. Same thing. Kate Martin had a
Oh
couple,
yeah.
right?
Kate
She
looked
had a
good.
couple runners.
Yeah.
Sure, her jumper is going down, which I know she was really down about, which is good.
Hmm.
She had a couple runners down the lane. Again, same thing that went in and out. I'm not saying that would have swung the game, but
Right.
like, in terms of like, hey, how do you assess their ability, to generate consistent offense? That's what I'm saying, right? The looks are good. Now, whatever, whether that's touch, or like just kind of finding like your balance, footwork,
Yeah.
maybe easier said than done. But like, I liked that they were doing some good stuff despite the score. So,
Hmm.
as we said at the top of the episode, now here comes challenge, right? Like, can
Hmm.
you respond from this, right?
And you build on it.
Yes.
Hmm.
That was my goal, right? Can you lose one of these games? If we lose both, can you lose one of them by less than 10 points? So
Right. Yeah.
let's see, right?
Then that'll
Let's see.
be great. If they can,
Yeah.
if that happens next game, like less than 10 or win, then yeah,
Yeah.
I'll know how fast this team really. I mean, and then like we're saying, Tip Hayes got to come back, Monique. So Cecilia, like they have some pieces, some important pieces that's not even playing. You know what I mean? So
You know,
we're not even at full strength. You know what I mean? To be even like, I mean, we're making an assessment now, but we're still not at full strength. You know what I mean?
I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still somewhat of a rotating cast of characters throughout the
Yeah.
season. Um, because I believe Janelle will leave for Eurobasket. But then, according to the report, I think Ilyana Rupert is still going to join after Eurobasket.
Okay.
So that
And
means
when is
somebody.
that? Like July
No, it's
ish?
in the middle of June. It's like the third week of June,
Oh, okay. All
like
right.
the 20th to something.
Yeah.
Point being, though, is I mean, it's funny, right? When we at the time the expansion draft, like, what did we say? Wow, we have shooting at all these positions. Well, we do, but not all those players are here, right?
Right.
Obviously, Maria Conde will not be joining us this
Man.
year. May she
Yeah.
heal up
Get well
quickly.
soon, Maria.
Yeah.
I really wanted to
Ilyana,
see you.
right? Easily one of the
Yeah.
best stretch fives in the world. She's not here. So,
Right.
I mean, not making excuses. You're right. The team could look absolutely different,
Hmm.
with them. But for Thursday, um, front court defense specifically, I want to see. I know they had their moments. That is, Temi, Steph Talbot, Janelle, but the New York Liberties front court, right?
Oh,
So,
I see. John Coyle is crazy.
Stewie, John Quell,
Yeah.
even Leone Fibich, right? I believe they combined for 9 assists. Yes, they combined for 9 assists. To 1 turnover.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then they have two
but
DPOY level,
yeah,
and Breonna Stewart and John Coyle Jones. Like, so,
that's what I'm saying.
it's
Like,
just tough. This is a tough out, and it's a
again,
educational.
I was, like, was it over the weekend? Was it over the weekend? No, I'm sorry. Oh no, that's right. Over the weekend, the Aces
Oh
played
yeah.
Seattle, right? And
Hmm.
they got carved up, right? From Seattle's front court, like through their big passing,
Yeah.
right? And I had a feeling that would happen because, right, we saw that happen in the season opener, right, with the Aces and the Liberty. That's kind of what I was like expecting today. I was
Right.
like, dude, like the 2-man game between Jonquel and Stewie, like
Yeah.
those two alone, like what the Valkyries. Remember we've been talking about this, right? About the bigs, the dual big screeners, and trying to flip
Yeah.
the D, right? What the Valkyries are trying to build, that is what the Liberty are already doing, right? Like
Okay.
this,
Okay.
this is like the pinnacle of it. And
Yeah.
my God, it didn't matter how many you threw at them,
It didn't.
it didn't matter.
It
Like
didn't.
even when they were like successfully hedging and recovering, it didn't matter.
No,
Right?
because man,
But
you
John Quell,
can't do nothing with them
someone,
two.
let me ask you something, right, before we close out this episode, right?
Mhm,
Because I saw this on Twitter and I kind of responded. I think it
mhm.
was like from Winsider, right?
Okay.
It was like, Fee is the early front runner for MVP, deservedly so. But if
Okay.
it's not Fee, who else would you put in as an MVP candidate very early? Obviously, there's no
I
real
mean,
wrong
of
answer.
course, Asia, but I mean,
Asia,
Caitlyn had a case for herself before she just
yeah.
went down. Um, I mean, do we throw Stewie in there?
See, that's the funny thing, right?
Because people
I
don't talk
think
about her.
I think if it's a Liberty player, well, okay, early, we're talking it's early, right? We're talking
Yeah,
about 4 or
it
5
might be
games.
John Quayle. It's like you
That's what I'm
gotta,
saying.
you know
I
what I
think if
mean?
you're
Because John Quayle been
if
going
you're
crazy.
picking a Liberty player, I think it's either Tasha Cloud
Okay,
or
for
John Quell.
MVP.
I'm just saying right now through
Oh,
4
right now.
games, who is your
Okay.
MVP, right? I
I
mean,
mean,
like,
yeah. I
dude,
mean, that's cool.
yeah.
That's
And by the
that's
way, she had
something to
10
say.
assists today. My
Yeah,
God,
that's something to say.
she like
Okay.
she didn't score, but she like somehow picked us apart.
Hmm.
She had
And
10
play
assists, 2 turnovers, man. Like,
and play great defense. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's what
Like
I'm saying.
I don't have a problem with you picking her. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's cool.
No, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like, you could easily make an argument that both, like, Tasha Cloud, or not both, Tasha
Yeah.
Cloud, Stewie, John Quell,
And
they have been
yeah,
MVP caliber
they have.
performances so far, right? Like at an MVP level. That's just how deep their team is. Again, this is a Valkyries episode, but
Right.
no, I mean that's what I'm saying, right? Like, I'm really eager. Again, whether it's, I know it sounds like a masochist, right? Like, we lost by 28. But no,
Right.
I want to see how they learn. I want to see how they respond.
Right.
Now, if they make the exact same mistakes on Thursday, it'll be disappointing, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see. They seem to have adjusted from the first quarter to the second quarter, from the second to the third. Then it got away
Mm,
from them in the fourth.
yeah.
No, we'll see.
Fourth quarter, New York said, "Okay, we're gonna close you out now."
I know, right?
No hope for you.
So we'll see. Is there anything else you want to see going on like Thursday?
um, I just want to see them not get like thrown off their game. You know what I mean? Like to open this game, they were just off. They were
Yeah.
like New York was, you know what I mean? And I know they'll be better because you know this unit hasn't been together, but what a month?
Actually,
You know what I mean? So
that reminds me. I think the only other thing I want to see, and in general, I'm very pleased with. Well, yes, I am pleased right now. Pleased with Natalie Nakase
yeah,
and the coaching staffs.
yeah,
Uh, but again, let's coach. I mean, they are coaching to win,
right.
right? I know that's might sound funny to say in a 28-point loss, but what I'm trying to say is next game,
Mhm.
let's call a timeout before we're in a 10-point hole, right? Like you called the first timeout when we were down 12-2.
Right.
Like especially if you see like a series of early turnovers, and even if
Yeah.
they're well, no, especially if they're forced turnovers,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
the liberty. It's not just our carelessness. Call the
Right.
timeout. Call the
Yeah.
timeout because let's see if we could really respond. You know,
I agree with that.
because the longer we're in it, I think there's more to learn from that, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be paying attention for that.
All
I
right,
have to have my phone with me because what time is that game? Like 7 again?
your time. Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter's graduation is at
All
six
right.
thirty. Yeah. So I'm gonna take my
Whatever.
phone with me.
We'll probably do a delayed reaction. You know, hopefully
Yeah.
to a more competitive game. So we'll see.
Yeah. It will be.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Again, make sure y'all like and subscribe. Y'all can drop y'all comments in there too. How y'all feeling about the team as well? We do want to hear from you. And yeah, we'll catch you next episode. Probably Friday. I'm thinking Friday, Saturday ish, or maybe we'll wait till after the. What's the next game after Thursday? Saturday.
I think Sunday.
I mean, unless they
Sunday.
win, they
Sunday.
if they win, we for sure pulling up. But we, yeah,
Okay.
it won't be till Friday, Saturday, y'all. So be on the lookout.
All right.
All right, y'all. Good night.
Take care.